This was a crazy ass fight. I remember this now. Um, this was John Molina versus Ivan Redkach. Um, 30-7 with 24 KOs. Remember, he also had that fight of the year with Lucas Matisse a few years back. As you know, Lucas Matisse has since retired after losing to Manny Pacquiao. Hasn't been really active. In fact, that was his last fight. It was the end of last year on Fox Sports 1. He's fighting Victor Ortiz. Yes, that Victor Ortiz on September the 30th on Fox Sports 1. Remember, Victor Ortiz had that gift decision. It's safe to say he got a gift decision against Devon Alexander, also on Fox Sports 1. But to talk about John Molina first, very up and down career. Remember he had that. I remember covering him losing to Antonio DeMarco in the first round. This was back in 2012. And it was for 44 seconds, as it says right here. Then he went and got this upset over Mickey Bay. Didn't he fight Hank Lundy? No. Well, no, he didn't. Yeah, he did. Controversial right here. But he had that meaning that Hank Lundy was winded. It wasn't controversial, the stoppage, but his career's been up and down. Got the win over Hank Lundy, then stopped in record time against somewhat record time against Antonio DeMarco, then got an upset win over Mickey Bay, then had that fight of the year with Lucas Matisse. People thought that he had a chance to beat Adrian Broner in, I believe this was the PBC's first ever premiere card where Adrian Broner, this was Guerrero, Thurman, and Broner. Yeah, Thurman, Guerrero, and Broner Molina. And then they had Abner Maris on that card too. It's a shame they couldn't keep that up on free TV. But then, he went on to capture the soul of Ruslan Provodnikov. Ruslan Provodnikov hasn't been around since, or hasn't been, the same since. He hasn't retired. He's still doing that soul searching that fighters do. Then, had that big fight with Terrence Crawford where he put up no challenge at all, and then came back in a fight where people thought that Redkach was going to win and won. And now he's fighting Victor Ortiz, and don't be surprised if he beats Victor Ortiz, because that's the type of career John Molina Jr. has had. 32-6-3 with 25 KOs. It's actually surprising to see that he's only 31 years old and he's still around. There's still a lot of value in Victor Ortiz. His career in regards to in the ring, he's not getting no super big fights anymore, but he's always on the cusp of something. So, for example, fighting at 147 pounds, there's still potential fights out there for him. For example, depending, I think a lot of fans would accept him versus a Keith Thurman, if he was to beat a John Molina Jr. Thurman versus a John Molina Jr., not so much. You see what I'm saying? And I'm talking about like the upper guys at 147 pounds. Easily, Victor Ortiz can fit in with those middle guys. For example, I would love to see this again. Victor Ortiz versus Lamont Peterson. What are they both doing, right now at this point in time? They can easily fight each other. I don't think they can squeeze in a Berto versus Ortiz 3. That doesn't really make sense. I mean, Berto's just hanging on to his career. And yes, Devon Alexander's still around, but a Victor Ortiz versus Devon Alexander 2, I mean, they could do that, but, it would be another Fox Sports 1 fight again. Or maybe they can, squeeze it on a Showtime triple card, triple feature as like the third fight, not the main event or not the co-feature, but as the third fight maybe. So there's still options for, there's still options for Victor Ortiz. So we'll see. I'll be covering the fight. It's going to be taking place in Ontario, in Cali, Fox Sports 1 on September the 30th. Also, a lot of people have been wondering what's been going on with the Brandon Rios thing. I'm not talking about Ortiz versus Brandon Rios until, a press release comes out and says that the fight is done. Because Brandon Rios and Victor Ortiz have been talking about this fight, and saying that it's been done, and they've been training to fight each other for the longest. I don't know if they think that they're marinating this and trying to build it up because they know that they're on the last legs of their career. Because let's face it, if Ortiz and Rios fought, it's going to easily be the losers, to a lot of fans, many fans, the end of their career. And Brandon Rios losing to Danny Garcia the way he did by knockout and then coming back to lose to Victor Ortiz, his career would definitely be over. So I look at this right now as these guys extending their careers. So don't be surprised to see Brandon Rios versus a lower level type competition. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see Brandon Rios versus a Lamont Peterson. It depends. But as far as me talking about Victor Ortiz versus Brandon Rios, I'm done with it. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.